Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I am here with a surprise video, I guess. It's kind of an add on video because I don't want to waste time at the end of the week when I do my Ready to Love video. I don't want to waste a lot of time discussing what I'm about to discuss. But I felt the need to do a video on it because I think I'm a little bit uncomfortable with where some of the narrative is going. I kind of feel like I'm in the twilight zone, although I do understand where people are going. I feel like it's there's just like a level of browbeating that I think I might be a little confused about. And I just am also surprised at the emotional response that has gone up from the last Ready to Love elimination, and it tells me a few things. Actually, it tells me a few things. And I'm going to talk about them. And I know my opinion is in the minority. And I know that people won't like it. I'm not even going to get in the comment section of my own video because I've been in so many other comment sections talking about this. I really spent way too much time. So, yeah, I'm on my lunch break. I'm about to spend some more time. And I don't think I'm probably going to have time to eat. So I'll try to keep this brief, although prepare to sit for about 20 minutes, I'm sure. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, actually last week, I told y'all we're going to watch this show for the entertainment. I told the greater Ready to Love community, we're going to watch this show for the entertainment. We've been watching it for 4 seasons. We know what it is. We know that these people have come to promote their business or promote the fact that they're single so they can meet somebody else outside of the show. And we know by design that is just what it is. And if we watch it for the entertainment, it would be a lot easier. But since some people decided not to do that, and I mean, this folks really, really going hard, I had to turn the camera on. I had to turn the camera on. I'm gonna get on my soapbox a little bit. I hope we all are still gonna be friends after this, because I already know I'm gonna get some pushback. All right. So first of all, Ready to Love is a competition. It is a competitive show. When you're doing a competition, you gotta play to win. I didn't make the rules. Those are the rules. If we want to see a show that's truly about people falling in love and it's not a competition, then we shouldn't be watching a reality show that's based on dating being a competition. We should be watching something else that probably isn't even on. Maybe Married at First Sight might be more of the speed, but child, even that these days, I'm not really sure. But if we want to see a show strictly about people falling in love and it's a reality show, my suggestion would be that we close our eyes really, really tight and dream about it, because that's the only place that I think we're going to see it in the reality show world is in our dreams. I don't think that is going to happen because it doesn't entertain. It's just what it is. Again, I didn't make the rules. So you got to play to win, right? Who usually wins in competitive environments on reality shows if it's not like a physical show? Usually the people with the most entertainment factor, usually the people who are the most boisterous, usually are the people who are kind of like the most in your face, who have that lasting entertainment value. Sometimes we get people who we enjoy watching fall for each other, kind of like Mike and Shay. They were still entertaining with it, even though they were clearly falling for each other in season 1. But a lot of the times it's become about the drama and who's got stuff going on and all of this other stuff, right? Hate to say it, but that's just kind of how it goes. Again, I know we didn't make the rules, but knowing how a competitive dating environment works, and it's kind of like may the best man or woman win, I'm not really sure why people were so, I'm going to say upset, because people were upset that Christian was one of the guys who got sent home. Now, should he have been the first? No. Troy should have been the first. I think Troy should have been the first because he was running around there being a creep and kissing on people. But again, I know Troy is going to be an entertainment factor, so he's probably going to be around for a few episodes. I also agree with you guys when you say that it shouldn't be eliminations on the first night. That's not enough time. I agree with that. It probably should be the third, or I would say even the 4th episode, so that people can get time to know each other. You know, you can get time to kind of work your way around and get some, clicking going on or whatever. So I agree with that. But I still was confused as to why people were so upset. I mean, I felt bad for him too, but I just, the level of response that has gone up, you guys, has been very interesting to watch. It really has. If you've been paying attention, you probably haven't. So I might be doing this video for nothing. But one of the things that I noticed is I do believe that Christian is an introvert. I myself am an introvert, and I kind of know how it goes with dating. We can be sometimes awkward. It can take us a long time to open up. It can take us a long time to get steady, to get into a comfortable position. Not to mention when they pulled him to the side, I think that made him even more nervous because they had a round table discussion about bruh. I don't know why they had to do that. But I'm sure that probably put him in even more of his introvert bag. And when we get in our bag, it's very hard to get us out of that state of awkwardness. So knowing these things, I don't even know if I would have went onto a show that I knew was competitive like this and expected to really stay. Maybe he thought that he would be more open when he got there. I'm not really sure, but it just kind of is what it is, you guys. It is a dating competition, and the people who put themselves out there the most are the ones who usually get to stay. I still say Troy should have went home, though, just solely for being a creep. And if Christian were a friend of mine, I would probably tell him the very same thing, right? I also am noticing some other things, and I'm gonna speak about myself real quick because I don't want to just I don't want to feel like I'm talking about Christian. But yes, you can be nice. Yes, you can be humble. Yes, it can be hard for you to open up and you kind of want people to give you a chance. But at the end of the day, nobody has to. And I'm talking about myself. I'm a very awkward dater. When guys get my number and they want to go out with me immediately, that kind of makes me nervous. I would rather talk to you for a little bit first, warm up for like a week, and then I want to go out with you. Some dudes don't want to do that. That is a waste of time to them. They ain't got time for me to be opening up and warming up and all this other stuff. And they'll ghost. If I'm taking too long to go out or to do the things that they want to do, they'll ghost. And I don't sit around and demonize men because they don't want to deal with my quirks or my nuances or my personality. They don't have to. They don't owe me that. And that's kind of the same way I felt about Christian. Yes, he was nice. Yes, he seemed to be very humble and reserved. But I wouldn't say that anybody owes you a chance just because you're nice. And it's levels to it, right? I mean, none of the dudes on the show were mean. Troy was a creep. But it's not like anybody was being necessarily mean. They were just outwardly more assertive. Okay? They were just outwardly more outgoing, I will even say. They were just more outgoing. So it's not that like these guys were mean. You can want a nice guy that is a great conversationalist. You can want a nice, humble, reserved guy that might be funny on the low. You might want a lot of different things when it comes to dating a nice guy. You may not want to date a nice guy that takes a long time to open up. That may not be what you like. And while I do agree that we should give people chances and we should get to know people, you don't have to. Which is why I always encourage people when it comes to dating to try to stay in your lane. Introverts, we know how it goes, right? Extroverted people, they see other extroverts. They like it. They're boisterous. They like other boisterous people. Occasionally opposites, a lot of times opposites will attract, and somebody who is more boisterous is with somebody more quiet. You'll see that happen a lot of the times. But usually that quiet person has more going on than just the fact that they're just a nice person, And in the real dating world, you do have more time for to get to know people and to see if they're going to open up. You do have more time to do that. In this television environment, you don't have that kind of time. If they would have spent time with Christian trying to get him to open up and trying to give him a chance and trying to give him an opportunity, they would have ended up getting eliminated themselves because nobody else would have really gotten a chance to know them. So I would say that Ready to Love shows the dating environments kind of at its most extreme because you don't have that same kind of time, and it's not like you get to have to sit in front of a group of people and let them pick and choose over you. Although that does go on in the dating world, you just don't see it. So it shows it at its extreme, and then in the regular dating world, you kind of have that happening too. Some people gonna be patient with you and give you a chance. Other people aren't. That doesn't mean you have to demonize the whole group of people because they didn't give you a chance and they didn't give you the opportunity. I just had a hard time understanding kind of the level of the narrative or the browbeating that was going on. Like, oh, the lady sent home the nice guy, and they always do this. They always send home the nice guy and then wonder why they're going to be crying at the end and this, and that. But nobody's required to necessarily pick the nice guy. And what made him nicer than any of the other guys? The fact that he was reserved? Because none of the other guys were mean, I would say. They all were trying to put forth their best gentleman, other than Troy. Other than Troy, I don't feel like any of the guys were necessarily mean. So I don't know what made him Christian any nicer than any of the other guys. And listen, you guys, if we don't browbeat men for wanting a feminine, or, because y'all know that's the word on YouTube, or submissive or soft or reserved or quiet type of woman, why do we then turn around and browbeat women for wanting a guy who is outwardly confident, not necessarily cocky? I didn't say a butthole. He could still be nice, but he wears his confidence outwardly. He's outgoing. He is I swear I don't want to use the word masculine, because that is different forms of that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, why is it wrong for a woman to want a guy who is more, if we don't browbeat men for wanting a woman that's more submissive, why do we browbeat women for wanting a man that's more assertive? I was having a hard time understanding that. I don't go around trying to convince men that they should get with a woman who is a boss and who is about her money and who's about her bag. If you don't like that type of woman, you don't have to be with that type of woman. And I'm not going to go around browbeating women that, well, y'all should give the awkward guy a chance and y'all should give the quiet guy a chance. If that's not your type, it's just not your type. Right? I'm just having a hard time understanding where this narrative is going. But let me move forward, because I don't want to get too heavy on one topic, because I have some more things I got to say. But bottom line is, it's a competition, so I kind of understood what it was, and I understood that wasn't really the place that Christian was going to thrive. Now, the next thing I'm a little bit confused about, other than this browbeating women into dating the nice guy, even though I don't think we browbeat men into dating the goth girl or the girl who is more boisterous. What made Christian, and I'm talking about Christian because people aren't really saying much about Khalil. What made Christian a better catch than any of the other men? Other than Troy and AJ, because I know we got our thoughts about them. But what is it about him that y'all felt like was such a great catch? Because he was reserved? Because he made the comment about his mom? I'm trying to figure out, because I still haven't received a solid answer, so maybe one of y'all out there got a solid answer for me. But I'm seeing women say he was marriage material. He was the most genuine. He was the best guy. He was the best candidate. He was this. He was that. Why? Why? Because none of the men were mean. I already said that. None of them were mean. One of them was a creep. But nobody was being mean to anybody. So they were all nice for the first mixer. If we're talking about backstory, because some women said that the men are divorced and seem like players. What was giving you player vibes? The fact that they were flirting? Because some men flirt, right? I mean, especially if you're a single man. Some men flirt. So what was giving you vibes of player? Another woman said the other men were divorced. So do divorced people, are they done for? These are serious questions, you guys, because these are some of the answers that I was getting. Now, some of them did actually have like a player vibe, but I wouldn't say all of them. So what is it? What was making them catchable? Are we going by backstory? Because if we going by backstory, let's pause right here. I don't know if anybody remembers the meet and greet, but I do. And I typed what Christian had to say, and this was it. I curate events for Houston. I kind of know everybody. So he's not a wallflower. He curates events. He's also a side model. And, he's not this wallflower that I think some people are painting him out to be. I used to be really wild. I used to have fun. I didn't care about what a woman wanted. I just try to get it. I just try to get into bed with them, and that would be it. So if we're going by backstory, again, I'm asking, what about his backstory made him more catchable than any other men? Now, he did decide to make a change. He did decide to reform his life, and that's great. I'm sure alcohol was involved in some of these activities he was in. But he did decide to change, and unlike a lot of people, I don't doom you to the streets because you had a sketchy dating history. You can reform your life, and you can start again, and you can do, better things or whatever. But my point is, I could not understand why people were painting Christian like this guy who just could never get a woman, and they did it again to the nice guy, and he's out there trying, and he putting himself out there, and he probably has been looking for love and trying to get a woman for a long time and hasn't been able to because he's a guy like me, because some of y'all was identifying he's a guy just like me and awkward and couldn't get the child. Christian told you he done had plenty women in that bed. He gets hoes. He ain't never had a problem getting no woman in, especially when it comes to that bed. And he didn't care about what else they wanted. So it's interesting to me that we're saying that the women wasted their time with F-boys, and that's why they having the problems that they having. They gonna be somewhere crying because they always go for the wrong person, when a couple of years ago, Christian was actually the same guy that you're talking about that they wasted their time with. A man that was just trying to get them in the bed. Now, he's changed, and that's fine, but I want us to quit talking as if he ain't had it in him, and he ain't never had no woman, and quit identifying with him if you haven't ever had luck with women, because he's had his luck. He is not you. Okay? Christian is not that guy, but he's decided to make some changes, and that's good. People should be allowed to make changes, but I was just very interested in the way he was being talked about. Because if we going by backstory, his backstory isn't any different than anybody else's. He been through something. He made a change. But before that, he was running through them like he wanted to run through them. The nice guy. Okay? I think he's a reformed one. Now, next, let's talk about this whole nice guy thing. Because nice guys got game. Nice guys run game. They will do the same thing that anybody else would do. So I think the reason why I'm taking such, not offense, but why I'm concerned with the narrative that's going on is because it gives off a narrative, especially to our younger women, because the demographic that watches this show is actually older. It gives off a narrative to younger women that if you date the nice guy, you're safe. If you choose the guy that's more reserved or maybe even awkward, that you're safe. And that's not true. And if you haven't dated in the last 2 to 5 years, I would say, I'm not going to say you need to stay out of it, but I'm saying that you might not necessarily know what's going on in the dating streets. I'm serious. It changes all the time. And if you getting dating stuff from YouTube, then child, you really don't know. Because some of these folks on YouTube have been single, but they have not actively been out dating. And when I say dating, I mean going on dates, getting to know people. They have not. They've been in the house complaining. All right? So I don't even know if you can trust them. But if you've been out here, then you know what I'm talking about. Nice guys got game too. I had a guy that had me, unbeknownst to me, and I had told him very clearly what I wanted. I was looking for something more serious. Had me in the midst of a love triangle. Long story short. When I found out about it, I was like, well, I don't really want to do that. Like, that's not what I wanted. I thought we talked about it. And he was just like, yeah, but I'm a nice guy. I treat you well. I'm a gentleman. And I treat her well, too. So I don't see the problem. If I'm treating you good, just don't worry about what's going on over there. That is what he told me with a straight face. And this is a nice guy. Watch Marvel Comics Explained. And all of that. You know? Had a little awkwardness about him and everything. Still had to get, still, everybody is going to get in where they fit in is what I'm trying to tell you. And if they can run some game, if they do got some options and they're and they're the type that's going to do it, they're going to do it. Whether they're a nice guy or not. Some guys use being a nice guy as their trope. Like, well, I'm a nice guy, so, I don't see what the girl's complaining about because I'm a nice guy. I do this over here, but overall, I'm a really nice guy. I'm a genuine guy. And because it's being pushed into so many people's heads that they should date the nice guy, the nice guys know it. They're aware of what's going on too. And some of them will use it to their advantage. So I think it's really bad advice to tell women, oh, you should just pick the nice guy because they're going to treat you better. And my husband's a nice guy and he was the one that's good for you. That's good for you. But what you should instead tell women, if you really care and are concerned about the way women are dating, what you should tell them is treat every man the same. Vet every man accordingly. Don't ever let your guard down with any type of guy. Don't ever feel like anybody is necessarily safe just because they may have a personality type that's different from the last guy you dated. You got to kind of look at everybody the same way. I'm not saying don't give them a chance. I'm not saying be mean to them or treat them like your last dude, but I'm saying watch them. That's what Judge Lintola always say, right? Just watch them. Just watch them. See what's up. I'm always a encourager of giving people a chance. Go out with them. Sure, do that. But don't necessarily think just because you give a nice guy a chance, they're going to just treat you way better than any other guy ever did. Because that is a dangerous way of thinking. I know some very reserved players, just like I know some very quiet at-home hoes. You can't never think that anybody is safe. And as a matter of fact, the nice guy is the one who will let you down the most and will make you feel the most hurt because you never expected it. I don't know if y'all ever seen a show called The Affair. It used to be on Showtime. It's on Amazon Prime now. But that guy was everything that a nice guy could be. And so when he cheated, his wife said, I married you because I thought you were safe. I never thought you would do that because you were such a nice guy. So I just think it's bad advice to try to browbeat into women that, oh, you should date the nice guy. You should get an awkward guy a chance. You should do this. You should do that. Because just because she doesn't mean there's going to be a different result. It might. And if that's not her type, it doesn't have to be her type. Okay? Some women can like a guy that's nice, but not necessarily awkward. They can like a guy that's nice, but not necessarily one that takes a long time to talk and get them to open up. You don't have to like that. Nobody owes you that. Just like men who have ghosted me in the past, they didn't owe me a second date if they felt like it didn't go well or I took too long to open up. They didn't owe me that. And I'm not going to sit around and demonize men because they don't want to deal with my dating awkwardness. And if you want to later say, well, then don't be complaining. They can complain if they want. They can complain if they want. You ain't got to feel sorry for them. If they, date the wrong type of man, you don't have to feel sorry for them. But if they want to complain, let them complain. Some of y'all pray for husbands and complain about them. Some of y'all pray for your seed and these kids and y'all complain about the bill. People get stuff all the time and then complain about it. Want these jobs, complain about it. People do that all the time. All the time. And, yeah. I just wanted to say those few things. And lastly, ladies, what I want y'all to admit is that the reason why y'all going up for Christian so hard and not necessarily the same for Khalil, not necessarily the same for that pastor that got kicked off season 1, or Daryl, who I liked, that got kicked off season 1, is because I think y'all find Christian attractive. You like his style, you like his build, you like his dark skin, you like his beard. And I don't think a lot of people are going to admit it, because then you would have to admit that we give more grace and we give more patience to people that we are attracted to. Because I don't think women would be saying, well, I would work with him if he wasn't cute. I don't think so. Hairline was a little messed up. But if he wasn't cute, I don't think we'd be getting the same reaction from women. If it was Rashid that was acting awkward like this, because a lot of women weren't attracted to Rashid, I don't believe he would be getting the same type of grace. That's just my opinion. But I don't think a lot of people are going to cop to it, because then you would have to admit that you might have a little shallow in you. I'll admit, when Daryl got kicked off season 1, I thought the brother was fine. Thought he had a nice build up under them clothes. And I noticed. Okay? I didn't want him to go home. So in conclusion, you guys, that's it. I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback for this. Let's recap. I don't believe anybody has to pick you just because you have some awkwardness about you, and that's man or woman. You stay in your lane, and you date people who F with you. That's what I think is the best form of action. I don't think there's anything wrong with a man wanting a feminine, soft, submissive woman. Just like I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman wanting a man that's assertive and confident. She can want that. I don't see a problem. And I didn't say swag. Now, I already talked about swag. I don't see a problem with that. Fellas who are aligning themselves with Christian, I just want to point out that Christian has had hoes. He has not been unlucky with the women. He said he would get them in the bed and he wouldn't care what they wanted, and it worked well for him. So if you ain't did that and had luck in that, then you are not Christian, and Christian is not you. Okay? And lastly, introverts out there, stay up. Stay up. Y'all know what it is. We gonna find the people who like us. We gonna deal with the people who like us, and we not gonna get on no dating competition shows because that doesn't serve us. But in the end, we gonna win. We gonna be fine, child. Oh, and one more thing. All of this, they gonna regret it later when they get to the reunion. They gonna regret that they didn't. Maybe, y'all. But I'm just here to tell y'all, the people that curved y'all are not sitting around pining over you. They're just not. Unless you become a millionaire or extremely successful, nobody's sitting around thinking that they should have dated you. They're not. They might look at your Instagram and say, oh, so-and-so turned out to be real nice. He looking real good. Then they roll over and commence to F whoever is in their bed or commence to cry about whoever's not. There ain't nobody pining over you like that. I hate to pop some bubbles, but I'm sure the men that ghosted me are not sitting around like, oh, I wonder what JoJo up to. And with that being said, you guys, these people deserve each other. If you think about it like that, the show is much more tolerable. These are the people who probably do date a certain way, right? They probably are going to get on our nerves. They probably are going to make a whole bunch of mistakes on here. Just watch it for the entertainment that it is. Because I got a feeling a lot of the men about to go after Chris Anthony, whatever her name is. And she act like she didn't even want to be there. But they about to go after her. Okay? Even from your nicest man down to your players. They about to go after her. Okay? But just watch it for the experiment that it is. And know that it does go down very similar like this in the dating world. But it's just not as extreme. I know my opinion was very unpopular. I know some people are going to have a problem with it, and that's fine. I'm done arguing about it. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all for the next one. All right. Bye.